You're level 4, right?
Uh, I think so. You guys haven't leveled up yet.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are level 4. All right, let's put on some ambient. Do that. Yeah. As soon as I load up my other screen, so we have something. There is commercials. Yay.
Did I accidentally put that in chat?
Yeah, you did.
Son of a bitch!
All right. Well, while you're getting ready, I guess I will get us started here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our night of D&D. We are doing something a little different because next weekend for our scheduled Avatar session, Luke will not be here, so we are running his little part of it. And if you missed it last section, our party is currently split. Kind of makes this the perfect time to do his part of it. Yeah, not a whole lot of introductions need to be done because it's really just me and Luke.
Yeah.
Everyone else is off for the night.
By the way, we did not plan this either. Like, it just kind of coincided with our schedules.
Yeah, which I'm happy that it actually worked out this way. This is it just really worked out well.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me grab some dice. Luke, are you all set up on your end?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Are you giving me control of Naga on this one, just as for clarity?
Yes.
Okay, then I will add her onto this page.
Okay.
And then we'll be good to go.
Cool.
But first, do you want to tell everyone where to find you?
Not really. But if you're watching this live, or if you are catching the VOD or on YouTube, you kind of know where to find me. We'll spend 1025 on all of those. All of our past sessions are on YouTube, along with another campaign that Luke here is our wonderful DM. Yes. Along with all of our other odd and shenanigan one-offs. Yeah. That's me. Luke. You got anything you want to say or plug?
You know, I was going to say something about Star Wars, but I don't feel like getting sued again.
Fair enough. So
love you, George.
Just randomly someone comes in using George's voice. Yeah, whatever. Oh, all right then. So to kind of clarify what we're doing tonight, Luke, do you actually want to try and catch people up?
Oh God, it's only me. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I definitely need the advantage though. Let me see if I can remember my bestest here. Okay. So when we had last left off the gang, Brutus and Shang had ushered all of the rest of the gang over back to Willow and Doros's place, so they could reveal to us that they had captured one of the strange spirits that had been robbing people. The thing was incredibly fast, and so fast that we actually could not understand it speak. But with some quick thinking and some expert tea knowledge from Rinzu, we were able to get the thing to a point of talking. After with some chamomile tea. After some talking in circles, we learned that the Quickling, well, I don't know that we actually know that they're Quicklings, but above game, I guess they're Quicklings. But the little spirits were not actually robbing people. They had just been cleaning things and sending it off somewhere, God knows where, all in support of the city, quote unquote, a strange person / entity that appears to be possibly the spirit of the city of Ba Sing Se. After much going nowhere with this, Gia left some instructions for the little spirit to clean up the streets before they start cleaning out people's pockets, and turned him into a little spirit sickle.
Yes, the spirit sickle. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You guys, you did that twice in that session.
Yep.
And not to the same Quickling.
No.
Sorry, continue.
After that, we had ourselves a good night's rest, and were then summoned in the morning by the palace of Ba Sing Se under order of the king. We made our way there post haste, even though we didn't really have much in the. We had plenty of time, and we met with Secretary Long Fang, a gentleman who was very concerned about the well-being of his city and our effect thereforein. Some of the word like that. We kind of gave him a brief on our whole mission and like kind of why we had been coming to Ba Sing Se, explained to him Doros' situation, and told him as much information as we were comfortable revealing, really. He sort of dismissed us and didn't really give us any indication one way or another whether or not we were friends. But during the interview, Gia was reunited with her long-lost friend. Oh god, I'm spacing now.
Maggie and Han.
Maggie. I remembered Han, but I couldn't remember the girl's name. Yes, Maggie and Han. Who had also been sent to Ba Sing Se on diplomatic purposes? Question mark? After parting ways with them, after a brief reunion, the gang went off to investigate the ever-coldening trail of the spirit thieves that had robbed Brutus of his grandmother's mysterious vial.
Mm-hmm.
After a little bit of sniffing around with the polar dogs and a good investigation from the team, we finally found a Quickling who had basically robbed us of some of our own belongings.
Do you remember what you lost specifically?
I had lost my Fire Nation dagger.
Yes.
God help me, I don't remember anything else that anyone lost.
Pri lost her spirit dagger, and then Rinzu lost a bag of fire flakes, which he got back later.
Yes. We were able to capture one of the spirits as it made its way towards a hole in the wall. And he informed us that he was just sending all the trash, quote unquote, per people's belongings to the city, question mark. I went ahead and froze him in another bucket of water, and kind of held on to him for a second and guarded the entrance while the rest of the gang went deep into the hole.
Mm-hmm.
After some long winding tunnels and things, the gang was able to come across what appeared to be a giant turtle shell, question mark. And Gia found herself surrounded on the rooftops by dozens and dozens of peering eyes.
Yes. And what that will mean, we will find out this time. Luke, roll me a d10.
A Deaton.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 9.
Okay, nice. You get 9 rerolls. Yes.
Those are precious to me.
So, because you are on your own, and I want to make this as interesting as I can. Because of that recap, which is actually a really good recap.
Thank you.
Your spell list does not require a spell slot to use.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh god. That's horrifying.
Yes. I will let you do with that as you will. But with all that being said, let me turn off this music and we can get into this. And I will bring you to your map.
Oh boy.
Yes. So this blue box, you can reposition you and Naga wherever you want. That's in that.
Okay, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many things on my screen and I have to reposition things. Okay.
Good.
Cool.
I want to try
Okay.
and make sure that Housefly is in a good spot to see this. So for context, you are in the it's like the back alleyways of the houses along the part of the interior wall. And in the center of this, which is what this token is, here is the hole that the rest of the crew has gone down. For the sake of this, that is still movable space, so you can go on top of it and everything. The hole isn't as big as the token is. It was just to represent that it's there. So the hole is not, in fact, 15 by 15. It's only like maybe 5 feet across.
Okay.
Yeah. And while you get positioned, I'm going to show you what you saw last session. And these are classified as swarms of quicklings. And Luke, roll me three initiative rolls.
3 initiative rolls. Okay. Do you want Naga in those as well?
Naga's just gonna do the same thing we've been doing. She's gonna be right behind you.
Sounds good.
Yes. While I turn this on.
One. That's an 18. That's an 8. And that's a 21.
Okay. Nice.
Pretty happy with it.
Well, so these are more highs and lows. Which you beat them out for almost every single one. Nice. So they did get the jump on you, so they do get their turn. They do get a surprise round on you.
Buck 'em.
Yep. And then one moment to actually write down the initiative.
Do I have a chance to like just kind of call something out to them real quick while they have me surrounded? And also, how big are these tiles? No, that's probably where I would be.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance to shout something out quickly. I need to turn this down just a little bit.
Oh, and one more thing. It's a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Quickling Sickle 2 get his own token, or is he in my inventory?
This, we will just say he's in your inventory.
Okay, I'm not going to add him now because I'm definitely not going to forget about him, but he is in my inventory.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm just going to quickly hold up Quickling Sickle 2, and I'm going to shout out to all of them. Did any of you get my message from Quickling Sickle? Or I guess no, I wouldn't. I didn't get confirmed that. Do we know whether or not these are Quicklings? Is that what they're called?
You guys don't know what they're called.
Okay. So retcon that. I'm gonna ask them. Did you guys get my message from Popsicle?
Nope. Good. Hi, Monty.
There it goes. Was it a D4?
No, luckily those are away. No, it was a D20. It rolled somewhere. I can't see. Maybe under the bed. Alright, so they look at each other, look for a quick second, kind of do what you would imagine is like the shrug between each other, and they look back at you and see which ones are gonna get. Okay. So,
Didn't think so.
So these. Okay. Is that where you wanted to start off?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Take that away. So these two over here are getting the jump on you first, and then initiative will start. This one's gonna run up to you and swing with its dagger. I'm assuming a 13 doesn't hit you.
Nope. It just kind of swatted away with the butt end of my harpoon.
Okay. A 10 doesn't
Cut it
hit
out.
you. Huh?
I was just like, cut it out.
10 does not hit you, and a 22 does that hit you?
A 22 unfortunately does hit me.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, it hits you for 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jeez.
Yes. Give me a quick investigation roll.
Investigación.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's wielding a dagger, but it's not piercing you. You get the sense that they're hitting you with a sheath.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then and then it's gonna run away, and both you and Naga get an attack of opportunity against it. Dart back up onto the roof.
Okay, I will go ahead and kind of one-hand the harpoon. I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll that one.
Okay.
Oh god, that's so much worse. Okay.
All right, that does not hit.
Leave it at that.
Did you want to roll in for Naga? She gets an attack as well.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah, because it got right into both your guys' combat space, but it only attacked you.
We're gonna go with the the tackle.
The what?
The tackle.
I believe tackle she had. She has.
I have to use speed movement speed. Gotcha.
Yes.
My bad. Okay, then yeah, I will just go ahead and do a claw attack.
Okay.
That's a 10.
And does not hit. Alright. Oh.
It's gonna be a long one.
Mm-hmm. This one here is just gonna move there and not take its action. Alright, that brings us to the top of the round, which starts with you.
Okay.
Oh, and for clarity and mechanics, these are all roos, and they're about 10 feet above you.
10 feet above me. Okay.
Equating to about a story tall each.
Okay. Let me take a look. It's in a book.
I'd continue it, but I'm pretty sure we get in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, I need a ruler, sorry. I have a jank thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am going to take the attack of opportunity, and I'm going to use 5 feet of my movement to mount Naga.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, if I mount her right here, I'm not actually moving out of this thing's.
No. You're basically moving just a square, and it's like
Yeah.
there for now. But if you're gonna mount Naga, I'm gonna put your token there.
Sounds good.
So you are effectively on Naga.
Perfect.
Good.
I'm gonna move.
That does. Oh, you're gonna move there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
And as an action, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Arms of the Octopus.
Okay. What's the range on your arms?
10 foot. 10
Okay.
foot radius.
Does that move with you?
It's an instant, so
Okay.
here. I will click it for you in the chat.
Is that... Alright. In the dark. Each creature in the air must make a strength save. And the failed target takes 2d6. Okay. Do they have... They do not. Alright. Let's see how well they do this. What is the DC?
That is a 14.
14. Alright. That one does... hang on. Okay, no, that's only dexterity. Okay. That one fails. This one here fails. This one here. Also, alright, both of them fail.
Fantastic. Are they moved? This isn't the one that moves them closer to me, I don't think. Okay, so they take... I should be able to just click something for the damage, I thought.
Do you have it set as one of your, attacks?
Hold on.
No, you don't. So go ahead and just roll 2d6.
I'm going to cast it as a second level. Submit.
I'll allow it, but you usually have to declare that before you make the attack.
Well, I was trying to click on this because usually I can click the name and then I can click what spell slot I want to use on Roll20, so that's how I was going to do it.
Ah, okay.
But it's not doing it, so
Okay. So that'd be 3d6 instead of the 2d6?
that is correct.
Okay.
Okay.
15. Jesus. Okay. This drops it down.
Bludgeoning damage.
So that makes it. All right. This one is. All right. Quicklings are not happy with you, but they're still standing. They lose their footing just a little bit, but they catch themselves and hang on to the roof.
You said these roofs are 10 foot tall.
Yes.
Could I have Naga make some kind of like athletics check or something like that to see if she could like climb this up onto this roof? Because she's almost as tall as that standing on her hind legs, I would imagine.
She can probably get up there, but these are, crap, what the hell are they called? They're that curved kind of roof tiling.
Okay.
So her footing might be a little janky when you're up there. But if you want to, you can make a athletics or acrobatics for Naga.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give her the old athletics check.
Okay. Athletics 15.
That's a 15.
Alright. Where do you want her to get up to?
We'll climb up onto this one.
Okay. Yeah, she does so. She's a little weirded out being up here. It's, like I said, it's all kind of janky, and she's not getting the solid footing that she's used to, but she's keeping her own. They do kind of vary in height ever so slightly because they've got a slant to them. They're not like full A-shaped or A-framed houses, but they are slightly vaulted in the center.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that she cannot take her attacks. That would be her action.
No, that would have to be her action.
Okay, then that would do it for us.
Okay. Which brings us to the quicklings that are right next to you. This one immediately to your left is gonna take its 3 attacks. So one of them gets a soft 20 with their first attack.
Jesus.
Yeah. Doing 13 damage to Naga. Mm-hmm.
Okay. My page is acting wonky again, so I'm trying to reload.
Here, I can knock
What's
off it.
happening?
I can knock 13 off of Naga. Real quick.
Okay, thank you. It's just non-responsive.
Okay. And then it's going to go in for its second attack. For a 20... 21.
Anyway.
Doing another 15 points of damage.
Jeez.
As you're sitting there, Naga is, you could feel her being on top of her, that she's taken one hell of a beating just from this one attack, or from these quick things. Although it does miss with its third attack. But that does also bring us to this quick thing behind you. Going in for its 3 attacks. That's a nat 1 on its first one.
Hell yeah.
Okay. This one goes into... Oh, come on. This one goes into swing, and because of where he's standing, slips and falls off the roof.
Ooh, can I take an attack of opportunity on him?
Yeah, I'll let you do that. It is technically a new turn for you. So yeah, you get attack of opportunity as it falls off the roof.
I'm gonna go ahead and Naga's gonna try and swipe at him.
Okay. That hits. This one takes the 15. Alright. This one falls.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry, I keep on saying this one. So there are 4 in each one of these groups.
Oh, okay, so these are clouds of quicklings.
They're classified as swarms, but yes.
Okay. How is he looking?
Three of them are down. There's one left.
Yeah, I guess Gio will go in for the stabby as well.
Okay. Well, that was Naga's reaction for it falling. So it's still its turn. It's got movement.
Does Gio not get a reaction as well?
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, I guess you would because you're mounted. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Misses. I'm not gonna waste a reroll. Well, maybe I should. Yeah, I'll reroll it.
Okay. So it's been 2 so far.
Yep.
It still does not hit.
Oh, damn it.
So as it falls, it gets basically backhanded by Naga into the wall, and it takes damage and it falls further, and as it's falling, you go into stab, and it's just fall. You not exactly predicting the fact that it's falling just outside of your spirit, and your spirit tip bounces off the wall and it hits the ground.
It's kind of. Damn it.
It stands back up, looks up at you, and it's gonna move away. Not make it up there, so it stops right there, just shy of being able to make it up the roof. And that is the end of their turn, so brings us to you for technically your second turn of the round.
Okay. Oh. Look. I mean, yeah. So Gia is going to cast Unagi's Kiss.
Okay. I'm gonna assume on this one right in front of you.
Well, she should she casts it on herself because it's like a power up. So
Right.
She is going to just kind of draw some of the water out of her little gourd there and just start wringing it around her kind of body while she's mounted on Naga.
Okay.
Oh, that's a bonus action. Okay. So then I can still attack. I should have done that last turn. So I am going to go ahead and, yeah, I'm going to stab at this cloud of quicklings in front of me with the harpoon.
Okay. 15 does not hit, or just barely misses.
Damn.
You go in the stab, and they just kind of swerve to the side, and you.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll it. Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll it. I need to do some damage on these guys. Ah, fuck, even
does
worse.
not hit.
Okay.
So you go in the stab, and just the four of them just kind of split down the middle of the group, and he's jabbing between their heads.
Ah. All right, and I guess I need Naga to fight my battles for me. So she is gonna go in there and tackle's a dumb idea up here. We're gonna go ahead and go
half
from
your movement speed.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead for a claw smack.
Okay. 18 hits
Fantastic.
for 15 damage. All right. And just one foul swoop, she knocks out 2 of them.
Nice. She's gonna set her eyes on another one, and she's gonna go in for a bite.
Okay. Nat 20. All right.
17
Damage.
damage.
How do you want to take him out?
Yeah, she just like Naga like literally just like picks up one of them in her mouth, and in like one frame, like you see this quickling with its legs dangling out of her mouth, and then the next frame, it's just Naga is just licking her lips, like she just swallows this thing. The other one runs off the roof in fear and falls to his death.
Okay. I like it. That's just ridiculous, but I like it. Alright. Is that the end of your guys' turn?
I think it's gonna have to be.
Alright. So that brings us to the other quicklings. This one here is going to run up to you guys. Actually, they're going to run up onto you guys because one of the fun things about the swarm, they can occupy spaces.
You.
Yes. So they're going to... Oh, I have actually been reading some of their things wrong. You should have been rolling with disadvantage against these. I will keep that in mind. But they all are actually they're all gonna jump onto the roof and on top of Naga and try to grapple you. So roll me a athletics or acrobatics to get out of their grip.
Question: Is this a throw that would prevent me from falling off of Naga specifically?
Like what do you mean? Like they'd be trying to pull you off her?
Or something like that. If are they trying to like separate me? Because I have advantages to throws against falling off my mount.
Yes, these ones are trying to get you off of her.
All right. So then you said that was what was the roll again?
Athletics or acrobatics of your choice.
Got it. Yeah, we'll go with acrobatics because that is the one, and this is with advantage, and that's a 20.
Okay. So they rolled a soft 20 as well, but tie goes to the aggressor.
Technically, yes.
So that would be the quicklings knocking you off.
Okay. No, I don't want to fall off on the roof. I'm going to re-roll it.
Okay. So this will be your fourth one.
Third.
Didn't you use 2 of them earlier and then one of them for the harpoon?
I've been keeping tally. I've only used 2 for an attack so far, but I...
Okay.
You know what, if you think it's 4, then I'll put mark 4.
Well, we'll stick with what you got. It's fine.
Okay.
So that does make it a nat 1 for your reroll.
No, it makes it a 23 because I have advantage still.
Right. Okay, so yeah, so they do not knock you off. But they are still swarming around you. Like that is their turn that they can do because they can't make their attacks now. That was their action. But they are gonna dart away, giving you and Naga both an attack of opportunity.
Ooh, you're done goofed. So I'm going to hit that harpoon. That is a 7,
That misses.
unfortunately.
Hmm.
And for Naga, yeah, we'll just go ahead and go for another mighty claw swipe. For
14
that's a 14.
does not hit.
Damn.
So you dart over to there. But it is still the other Quickling's turns because the two of them move on it. 15, 20.
I'm out of reactions.
So he's gonna run up here, and these ones are actually gonna go and try and grapple Naga by her legs. Go ahead and roll her a athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics it is. That's a 15.
All right. Well, so they rolled in that one. She gets a free attack against them as they charge at her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go and give him a claw swing.
Okay. 14.
That is a 14.
14 does not hit.
Damn it.
But with that nat 1, they do fall back down to the ground. They can't take another action, so they're going to GTFO. Back over to these roots. Brings us to your third turn.
Okay. The fucks are dead. Okay, so so much shit on my screen. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm going to take Naga over here. And Gia is going to cast her Unagi's breath at that gentleman over there, across
This
the way. Yeah.
Okay.
So he. So that takes my action. 15-foot cone. Let's make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Okay. They don't. Alright, so that's a 17.
So a 17 succeeds, so he's going to take. Would you roll, please? Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go.
Okay.
Why can't I see it?
I think it's
9. There it is. Okay.
so you go and you stream this water straight directly at it, and it just seems to stand there, not affected by it. Quicklings have evasion.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Are they now drenched in water?
They're drenched in. Well, they got water on them, but they seem to be kind of moving in like a circle, getting the water off themselves.
Okay. In that case,
Do you want to try and do something with that?
I thought about using Shape Water to try and freeze him, but I can use one of my other cantrips instead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Ray of Frost at him.
Okay.
So I have to make a ranged spell attack. Excuse me.
This should be a D20 plus your casting modifier.
Why can I not just cast that? Okay, whatever.
You might not have them set to actually be attacks. You might just have them set as description. I had the same problem with Tyrion for a while. You can work that out when we're done.
Okay. Okay, so then, yeah, I'll just go ahead and roll that old D20.
Plus your Jesus. Even without
So that's
even without your modifier, that hits.
okay. So 24, I believe. Yeah. So
that hits. Okay. And then roll your damage.
yep. So that's 1d8, so 7 damage, 7 cold damage, and their speed is reduced by 10 feet until start of the next round.
Okay.
For what that's worth.
The start of your next turn. Okay, so this one was activated on... Alright, so... Because this encounter is set up differently, it'll be your second turn on the next round.
Okay.
So that it will last a full round.
Works for me.
Yeah, just because how we have this set up. All right. They're cold. They are cold, but they still seem to be moving pretty well. They get a slighter, lighter shade of blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
I want to do something stupid with Naga, but I don't think you'd let me.
What do you want to try and do?
Since I kind of ran over here from here, would you allow me to make a running leap with Naga?
Are you trying to make it to this roof here, or are you trying to make it over to this roof?
I'm trying to make it to this Quickling so I can tackle him.
Okay. Roll. Roll acrobatics or athletics.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So you
23.
So you land. You jump and you can land right on top of this quick thing.
Hell yeah.
Quicklings. As you're running, you blast out your ray of frost just in time, right before Naga leaps from one building to the other. And as these quicklings are sitting there, a little cold and a little frostbitten, Naga gets over, and she's got two of them pinned underneath her front paws, and then two of them basically took a Subaru to the face.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I'll say these are knocked prone.
Fantastic. Gonna roll that tackle. That's a 9. I'll re-roll it. Fuck it.
Okay.
22.
Okay.
Better damage too.
What can I use for that? Let's do this. Alright, so it's 22 points of damage. So that knocks it down to that. That takes out 2 of them. Oh, come on.
And then with her multi-attack, I'm just gonna have her like kind of just bore her claws into him even more.
Okay.
That is an 8. I'm gonna let that one stick.
That's a nat 1.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I'll re-roll it. Fuck
Okay.
it. I don't want that one.
So this is still with disadvantage. That still hits.
Mm.
All right. So she digs her claws into them. With the slant of the roofs, she digs her claws fully into one of them, and just kind of scrambles underneath, trying to claw at, or not necessarily claw, but like grasping at Naga's arm, trying to get her off. But the claws just go further and further and further, and the arms just go limp. But there's still one caught underneath her other paw.
Mm. And I guess that'll have to do it for us.
Alright. That brings us to these other quicklings. Seeing that you are taking out their friends. I need a ruler now. Where's the ruler? Yeah, that'll make it. Oh, come on. This one is going to... and the 80 to get up and behind Naga. And they're going to take a swing at her hindquarters, or her legs. First one is the 16 to hit.
Ow! Oh, bastards. Yeah, it hits.
Alright. Oh, how many are alive in this group? Oh, okay. All of them are still there, so... Now I take 16 points of damage as this thing takes its sheathed dagger and swings it like a baseball bat at her leg.
Naga is down.
Okay. Alright. Or... is down, and it's gonna take its next 2 swings at you then.
Naga! Come on, girl, get up!
Is a 19 hit.
Unfortunately it does.
You take 16 points of bludgeoning damage to the face. As Naga slumps down, this one runs up her back and takes a swing at you.
Ugh.
And it's gonna forego its third attack. Actually, no, it's gonna take its third attack. No. No, they're not gonna get their attack, but they are gonna bolt away to the other roof. Just barely make it. That does give you an attack opportunity as it gets out of your range.
Uh,
I'll put Naga there for right now, so we can not have overlapping tokens.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit him with the harpoon, I suppose.
Okay. 4 does not hit.
Reroll. Naga's down. I'll reroll.
Okay. So it is the quickling. So it is with disadvantage, so that turns it into a nat 1.
I only have 2 left.
Above
I'm
game,
gonna save it.
Above game, there is still this one over here still has to make its turn.
Yeah. Well, I can't attack him with. I can't attack opportunity him.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and re-roll him. Yeah, one more time.
Okay.
One more time. For the beans.
Another nat 1.
Jesus Christ. It was meant to be.
Alright, 1 second. Alright, that just misses.
Okay.
Roll me a well, first off, you start to feel this Naga is starting to slide off this roof down this way.
Okay.
So roll me a dex. How much movement speed did you use your last turn?
I want to say
no, Gia hasn't. It was Naga that was moving, so you still should have. All right, so I'm gonna let you have this. As Naga slides, you just use 5 feet of your movement speed to get off and defend yourself. But Naga is still slowly moving.
Okay.
Because you have the Cavalier. I'll just chalk it up to that one.
All right.
But that does still bring us to this other quickling.
Oh, god damn it. I do have Interceptor. I should have been doing that the entire time.
Interceptor?
Yeah, I should have been catching those attacks on Naga.
Okay. Oh, fortunately it's a little late for that. But...
I'm dumb.
These ones are gonna run up to Naga. They're actually gonna pull her down onto the ground. They're actually strong enough to do so. Yep. So Naga is now fully off the roof and has landed on the ground in this space here.
Oh shit.
As a group, they make it there with Naga.
Fuck. How the hell do they carry a fucking polar bear that fast?
There's 4 of them in a group.
It's cartoony.
Yes. I mean, they don't make it far, but yeah. That does bring us to top of the actual round. And that turns it to you. With this round, roll me a dexterity save. I had you rolling during last session, but I'm gonna have you re-roll it for this one.
Okay.
All right. So
So 14.
you're kind of shaking back and forth as this massive earthquake happens. And the hole is collapsed inwards on itself.
Oh no.
I will let you roll either a history check with advantage to see if you pick up on what this is.
Come on, roll 20. Don't fuck me. What is happening?
All right.
It's
Well,
11.
you had to pass a 10, so you did. The last time an earthquake like this happened, Gia, you remember being thrown out of a forest.
Oh no.
But that brings us to the top of the round. It is your turn.
Okay.
Oh. These guys.
I'm
here.
going to
Move back.
yell out, Naga! I'm going to look at this, these little quicklings here.
Which ones? They're not. It's not pinging on my end.
The ones right directly in front of me.
These ones here, or these ones? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. There's one left, and it is prone.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hit him with my Unagi's Kiss. So
Okay.
I'm going to roll d20. That's a 15.
And they. That's the hit, right? Or do they need to make a roll?
That's to hit. Would I have advantage on that because they're prone?
It would be a flat roll because you've already got disadvantage because of blurred movement.
Then it's
Actually,
just a
hang
15.
on. Okay, yeah. So then that misses.
Okay.
I thought they had to make a dex save for Nagi. Oh, is it the tentacles that they need to make a?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Unagi's Kiss is just like a blast of water from like my water bending around me.
Right.
So after that, I'm going to cast a Prayer of Healing, and I'm going to start making the water form around myself start glowing, and I'm going to shoot out a couple drops of water over towards Naga, and we will both begin to heal.
Okay. How much do you heal?
2d8, so plus 6.
Okay. So Naga's
So
back
that's a
at
7. So that's 13.
13. Okay. Okay. Naga is. As you do so, Naga's feeling the water come over her and her eyes go back open. She's still technically prone, but she's up and kicking again.
She's gonna use half her movement to get up.
Okay.
And I'm going to make her maul the shit out of these guys that were trying to carry her off.
Okay. Go ahead.
god, I can't see any fucking thing.
So that is a 14 to hit, which does not. Which is apt because she did just get knocked out and then brought back, so her vision might not be fully there yet.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I guess I'll have her make a bite as well.
Okay.
It's a 23.
That'll hit for 12 damage.
Yep, she chomps one of these boys.
Drops it to that. Okay. She's a little more lively, and she grabs one by the flowing hair and just wriggles it around and throws it against the wall, successfully knocking one of them out. But there are still 3 on her, trying to trying to keep this dog under control, but they're losing the fight, so to speak.
Okay. And I think that's all I can do. It's one of those things where the meta knowledge is kind of coming into play, because I feel like Naga would probably try to walk back towards me, but I don't want her to take attacks of opportunity.
Well, so I got in place here, but technically these ones here are like at her her hands and feet, or her paws.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they're grappling onto her, then she's just gonna take them for a ride.
Okay.
And I guess that will do it for me.
Okay. Roll me a athletics for Naga really quick. This will be contesting.
Can do.
And the yeah.
24.
Yeah. So she, with her brute strength, is big enough to where she could turn around and just dart off. And these aren't strong enough to hang on, so they just fall off as she pulls away.
Hell yeah.
Alright, but that does bring us to the quicklings. Or unless you have anything else to do.
I would like to jump on her, but I don't think I can do that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it.
Okay. Alright. Is these quicklings turn down here, seeing that their friends just got thrown off and left behind from a polar dog that they thought was down, but apparently not. They're gonna run up to 5, 10, 15. They're gonna actually run past. No. They're gonna run up to Naga. They're gonna go in for their dagger attacks.
Okay.
A 26.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my interceptor feat to reduce the damage.
Okay.
So, whenever you're ready.
Picking up caltrops every single time. 15.
So I'm going to reduce that by a whole 7.
Okay, so that is
It's 8.
8. So 8 points of damage.
Puts her at 5. Okay.
they still have two more attacks.
That's fine. I can do this on every single one.
That misses. That misses too. All right.
And should have been, honestly.
I believe you've taken out the other ones for that. You did. Okay. Okay.
Oh no, I have to use my reaction. Never mind, I can only use that once. Okay.
Well, you get your reaction once per turn, and you got 3 turns in a round.
Mm-hmm.
But that does end their turn, which brings us to your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna hop down 5 feet and Mount Naga.
It would probably it's gonna be like 15 feet because you could drop 10 to get to her and then 5 to mount.
That's fine. I'm not really going anywhere.
That's fair. Actually, you would be dropping, so it would just still be 5 feet because you're dropping off. Okay.
That was kind of my thinking.
I'm gonna put you there again. You're just on Naga.
Okay.
Alright, so you have mounted the heavy labored polar dog. How do you want to proceed?
Sorry, I'm trying to... Fudge. Oh, fudge nuggets. I am going to use Cure Wounds
Okay.
on Naga
Alright.
at 2nd level.
Okay, so that's 2d8?
Yes.
Okay.
D8 plus 6. Roll.
15. Nice.
Excellent. So she recovers 15 points of health.
Okay.
Trying to think. I don't think there's any way like I can geometry this so I can catch any 2 of them in a 15-foot cone.
15 feet. You might, if you aim like right in between these, I think you can catch both of these ones down here. So this one up here is on the roof, and this one up here is on the roof.
Okay. Well then, I will do that thing. Oh. That's a 17 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
Okay. Shit. How much damage do they take again? Oh, they didn't mean to click on it.
Unagi's Kiss is... Oh, they need to make a... You're using Unagi's Kiss?
Yeah. Oh, is that a save? My bad.
Yeah, that's a save.
Well, damn.
Okay, so... We both need to make a save. Yeah, no, they don't save.
Okay.
Okay, so what is that 17 your damage, or what is... Oh, hang on. All right, go ahead and throw.
I have so many things on my screen. Sorry.
You're good. It's 3d6.
It's a 9. That's not great.
Oh, and they also have evasion, so even though they didn't pass, they still only take half damage.
Ooh.
So half that. Okay. They take 4 points of damage from that one. All right. This one here, huh?
Oh, go ahead.
This one here is just barely making it by. It looks like it's having a hard time staying up. And these ones here are still pushing through. And holding strong.
Okay. Well, since neither of those groups passed, neither of them can take their reactions.
Good to know. Okay.
And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna say, Naga, yip yip, and I'm going to go 10 feet, and then 20 feet, and then oh god. Okay, I'm closing this. It's in. I need a computer, Travis.
Working on it.
So that's that's 20. That's 20. It's 40. Scroll up more. 60. Yeah, basically we're just running away. I'm taking the dash action to run away 100 feet.
Okay.
So it's 25. So that's another 50. So that would get us right about there.
Okay. So since you're running, the ones that are 2 spaces wide are regular, so regular movement for Naga. The ones that are single squares are going to be kind of difficult terrain for Naga.
Okay, I assumed that she could have fit them at all, so I'm just taking a long circuitous route.
Okay. You make it to there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
That'll be the end of our turn.
Alright, so that brings us to this one down here on the roof is going to use half its movement to stand back up, which only gives a 60 movement left. Yeah. Makes it to there. This one here has seen you moving. And jump down. Actually, hang on. Jump here and jump on top of you. And try and gop you off of Naga again.
Okay. I have advantage on this roll, so.
Okay.
What am I rolling?
Acrobatics or athletics to get out of it.
Gotcha. Oh my god. What's really killing me right now is that I lost my mouse somewhere in my room. I cannot find it for the life of me.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Do I need to order you another one?
I will deal with it on my own time. Acrobatics.
14 does not beat them out.
Oh. Yeah, I'll re-roll it. Fuck it.
Uh, so above game they got a 27 because they have a +8 to acrobatics. They have a 19
I
on the
will.
die.
I will leave it alone.
Okay. So they do grapple you and they pull you off of Naga. For the sake of it, you guys are there. And Naga has been dismounted. Forcibly dismounted. That does take up their turn, which pulls you in range for these ones. They've got 20 feet of... Right. These ones up here are actually going to throw a dagger at you. What is their... For a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
It's hitting you specifically.
Yep.
For 16 points of damage of God, what was this bludgeoning damage? Because they're throwing a dagger in a sheath at you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and intercept that. I'm gonna reduce it by 1d10.
Okay.
So I reduce it by 16 max.
So it goes to throw it, and you just quickly move your hand, and with a little bit of water, just knock this dagger out of the air. You've negated the entire blow.
Hell yeah.
Alright, that's the end of their turn. Bring us back to your turn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still concentrating on Unagi's kiss. So
Okay.
I'm going to blast this guy with some water.
Okay.
And he needs to make me a DC 14 save.
Dexterity, correct?
That is correct.
Yes, dex saving throw. Did you not? Okay, so that's a 9.
Oof.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, boy, failed.
Yeah, no, that's a 9. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Yep. That's a 10.
Alright, because of evasion, they take half damage.
Okay. So that's a 5, but he can no longer take his reactions for the rest of the turn.
Yep.
And I will, I'm actually going to go ahead and stab at him.
Okay. Go ahead.
God damn you, roll 20. It's a 22. Excuse me, it's a 14.
14 because of forward movement. That does not hit.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use 5 feet of movement to Mount Naga.
Okay.
And I am going to... Okay, ruler time again. So it's 15, 10, 50. So that's about 65.
Okay.
No, excuse me, 75. Ugh, I hate it. So 10. That's 20.
That's uh difficult terrain.
That's right. That's 40. So I would have to stop somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Say about there.
Okay.
All right. That's gonna have to be me.
All right. That brings us to these other clippings. And crap, I just lost my count. This one starts, makes it to there. This one makes it right behind him. Oh no, he's gonna make it down. I guess so there. This one here is going to throw its dagger at Naga. 23 to hit.
I mean, that might hit. I'm gonna reduce it by 14 damage.
Okay. Alright, Naga takes... Oh, with that, Naga takes 2 points of damage, then.
Okay.
And the one behind it, still in range, is gonna throw its dagger at Naga. One.
Can't do anything about that, so.
For a 17 to hit.
17 will hit. For 16 points of damage. Shit.
Naga down again.
Oh, no. She is at 2 points of damage.
Yeah.
Or 2 points of health. Excuse me.
Right. Alright. Well, that's all that they can do. It is now your turn. Oh, actually, that is top of the round again. So these guys here.
Okay.
Yeah, one second. These guys move to here. Alright, now it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use I'm gonna use a bonus action to second wind myself.
Okay.
So I regain 9 points of health.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to cast. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
on Naga at second level, and so she's going to regain 2d8 plus 6.
Okay.
Oh god, that's awful. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that one stand. So she regains 8 hit points. It's pretty shitty, actually. Um, as an action, Gia is gonna go ahead and take her. She's going to grab her hand axe, and she's going to toss it at these guys.
These ones here.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing doing, Captain.
11 does not.
Yep. So she and then Naga is going to bonus action dash. So that's 10 feet to get us out of there.
One moment.
30.
All right. 1 second. I gotta reveal something because you are getting to that point.
Okay.
So as you round the corner, with the token layer. As you round the corner, you see these two gentlemen standing there, in these long dark green robes with I forget what they're called. They're like the farmer's hat.
Oh, like straw hats.
Yes. You would recognize these as daily agents.
Okay. Can I call out to these guys?
Sure.
I'm going to call out to them. I'm going to say, "Help! We're being attacked by bandits."
All right.
It's not
Roll.
technically wrong
Uh,
because they are robbing us and attacking us.
roll a persuasion with disadvantage. Oh, let me move house flight upwards. Oh, that's far.
I'll re-roll that.
Okay. I'm sorry, my friend.
17.
That was with disadvantage, remember? So that reroll knocked down to a nat 1.
Do I waste the last one on this? Yes. Yes, I do. The Dai Li are gonna save me.
Okay. Now 11.
It's probably the best one so far, so.
Okay.
Better than that one, and they just take me to jail.
Give me a second. Let me.
Take your time.
Okay. So. So they look at each other. They look at you. What are you looking like right now?
I mean, I've healed a little bit, but Naga at least is very bloody. And I'm actually almost back to full now. But I was almost dead.
Okay.
So my clothes are probably all torn up and bloody.
Okay.
Hair's all frazzled.
So they look back at you and say, "You'll have to come with us." And I will leave that up to you if you want to go with them or not.
Do I see the quicklings coming after us?
Give me a perception. Okay, there it is. Perception 18. All right. So you can. Last you saw the ones that were following you, you last saw like as you were rounding this corner, but it doesn't seem like any of them are coming towards you now. At least you don't get that feeling. Roll a perception for Naga as well, and hers is gonna be smell based.
Could you fucking zoom in so I can see? Thank you.
All right. So Naga's is
7.
remember Naga gets advantage on smell
Advantage,
based.
right.
Yep.
19.
So you see them. You stop for just a quick second to get these Daily agents' attention as Naga is moving her head side to side, kind of like a dog would be, trying to make sure that something isn't following her or following them, just kind of back and forth, and she's slightly growling. With that, you could assume that the quicklings are probably following, but staying hidden, like on the back side of the slants of the roofs.
As I kind of slowly trot Naga up to these Dai Li agents, I pull Quickling Sickle 2 out of my pocket. And I say to them,
As you get closer, you see two more come into view.
excellent. I say to them, I was attacked by a group of these, and I pull out a frozen Quickling.
All right. One of them approaches you and reaches a hand out. Please pass it over here. Please pass it to me.
Yep.
Pass it
Hand it
over.
to him readily.
Okay. They take it in their hands. They're looking at it, and this thing is. Well, hang on one second, because you've been moving around quite a bit and this thing's been in your pocket.
Yeah.
Um. Okay.
Is Quickling Sickle 2 dead?
Yeah.
Oh
The,
god.
it, you roll a medicine check.
Oh my god. Roll 20. Please. Please. Work with me, darling. As a 21.
Okay. So you don't know exactly when it happened, but the fact that it's been in an icicle in your pocket, being thrashed around everywhere on top of roofs, down alleyways, on and off of Naga multiple times, it's probably had a concussion so bad that it passed out, and during that time, its neck has probably been snapped back and forth. The ice itself probably hasn't done a whole lot for it as far as keeping it alive, so it could have frozen to death. All of these are possibilities, and they all
I
probably happened.
and I don't suppose there's any possible way I could, like, I don't know, cure wounds him back to life, or is he like just too far gone?
At this point, he's too far gone. Cure wounds can only do so much to something that is only so dead, but when it's been beaten and battered as badly as this Quickling has, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, I kind of put the frog in my pocket. Uh,
Yeah, and you forgot to give it breathing holes.
yeah, okay. Well, he's still a wee little man. So, I mean, that counts for something. Like, at least my story is at least partially credible.
Yeah, fair. All right, so you pass it over. This man is just looking at this small blue hair, blue skins, frostbitten icicle, popsicle. Sorry, quixicle. Uh, and it looks to be, what are we supposed to do with this? Is this thing alive?
He's probably dead, but those are the things that attacked me. I managed to catch one. There's like, oh god, I don't know, like 40 of them?
Hmm. We'll need you to come with us.
Of course. If it means anything, I'm currently the charge of Captain Doros.
Noted.
I cooperate with them wholeheartedly. I trot Naga with them, as I think this is probably the safest way to transport her.
Well, in her condition, yes.
Yeah, could like
And,
just like scritch her hackles and everything. It's like it's gonna be okay, girl. I'll look back over towards where I know my friends are caved in.
mm-hmm. Um, as you pass through, oh, as these daily agents escort you out of the back alleys and out to the main road, you begin making your way towards what looks to be the train, and closer you get. Sure enough, it ends up being the train, and I need you to make me a athletics or acrobatics with disadvantage.
Is this something that would knock me off of Naga?
This is something that would now. Yes, and you're also gonna need to roll it for Naga as well.
Okay. So she might go down, but I'm gonna go down with her.
Yes. Okay.
That's a 12.
Okay. Rolling for Naga.
Yeah, sorry, the sheet's being dumb.
Do you want me to roll it?
I got it.
Okay.
Athletics.
All right. So as you get closer and closer, it was already towards like the back half of the day, so you're in middle to late afternoon, so it's getting dark in places. And as you get closer to the train, you feel what you can assume to be hands, but these are made out of stone, grasp around your head, covering your mouth, and some of them on your back, pulling you off a naga. And you hear the ever so quick and slight growl of naga dissipate as sound just disappears from around you. And time passes, and you could feel them grabbing. Oh, sorry. You feel them grab you by the arms, hoist you up. Your hands and legs are bound together, and you don't know where Naga's at. You don't hear her. You can't even smell the only way as a DM I could describe as sweaty, wet dog. You can't even smell it. I need you to roll me a Constitution save. I'll move us back to the map.
That is a 16.
Okay. You stay awake long enough to hear the ground around you shift and move. And you feel the coldness start to set in as the echoes of dripping water echo off of the surrounding rocks. And the echoes reverberating through what you can now assume is a cave. You descend deeper and deeper and deeper. Roll me another Constitution save. This time with disadvantage.
That's a 5.
That's a nat 1.
Yep.
And you're deep. You feel like you've been deep enough underground where you can't hear the outside world, and you're just hearing the echoes and the footsteps. And you feel a chair as you're thrusted into this, and still not knowing where you're at, you hear a door slam. And that's where we're going to end our session.
Damn you, Chavez. I don't know what would have been. I don't know what would have been worse, being kidnapped by Quicklings or kidnapped by the Daily.
Yeah. Well, how you doing there, buddy?
Not good. Not good.
Yep.
I didn't think I would get through that many, but I didn't realize I was going to get my ass handed to me like that. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, that was actually a pretty good fight. You held out really well against all of them.
Yeah, well, thankfully I have a lot of stuff that makes them save rather than me attack.
Yeah. All right, let me put that back on. I can only imagine what this fight would have been if you were restricted to your spell slots. well. All right. It's gonna do it for us tonight. Luke, do you have anything you want to say to our lovely audience?
There is no war in Ba Sing Se, and soon there might not be a Gia.
Yes. Yeah. So that's gonna wrap it up for us tonight. I have been WolfsBane1025. You can find me Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. If you missed this live or in the VOD, you can find on YouTube. We've got our other sessions there. Yeah. We will be doing this again as long as things go correctly. We'll be doing this again next week with the rest of the crew. Because of our previous session, this only happened because the crew is split and Luke is not going to be here next weekend.
That I will not.
Yes. But to find out what happens next, you'll have to wait till next week to find out. But with that being said, good night, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Bye.
Love you. Bye.